Hi, today we're going over section 6.5, which is solving rational equations. Now, with solving them, we'll have some differences from when we're simplifying. So whenever we're solving, there will always be an equal sign in the equation. If we're simplifying, there's never an equal sign. Now, with solving, we actually want to get rid of our denominators. Where with simplifying, we found common denominators. And then with solving, since we're solving, we're figuring out what our actual X value is instead of just getting something down to lowest terms. Now for solving, we want to find the common denominator for all terms. Now, instead of getting all terms to that denominator, we will just multiply the numerator of all terms by what the common denominator would be. What this does is it cancels out all of our denominators. So once we do that multiplication, we'll simplify terms, canceling out our denominators, and from there we'll solve for a variable. Okay, so we'll start fairly simple and then go to more complex. So first one, solve and state any non-permissible value. So we have x over 2 equals 4. So our common denominator between x over 2 and 4 would be 2. So we'll multiply both terms by 2. So on the left side, it's going to cancel out. So we have x is equal to 8. Next example, we have 1 over 4 equals 1 minus x over 2x. So our common denominator in this case would be 4x. So we'll multiply both sides of our equation by 4x. The side that's 1/4, the 4's will cancel out, leaving us with x equals, on this side, that x cancels out in the denominator and with this x up here. And then our 4 and 2 can reduce to lower terms. So we have 1 minus x times 2. So that would give us 2 minus 2x. At this point, I would rearrange to move all of x's to one side of our equation. And that gives us 3x is equal to 2. Divide both sides by 3. And we have x is 2/3. Next example, we have x over 4 plus 1 equals 5. Now in a situation like this, if we have terms we can combine before getting rid of the denominators, we'll do that. So we'll subtract 1 from both sides. So we have x over 4 is equal to 4. Common denominator would be 4, so multiply both sides by that. We'll cancel out on this side, so that gives us x is equal to 16. For our next example, we have 3 over x plus 1 equals 5 over 3x minus 1. Now, these denominators have nothing in common, so therefore a common denominator would be the multiplication of the two. So therefore, we'll multiply both sides of our equation by x plus 1 times 3x minus 1. So on the left side of our equation, the x plus 1s are going to cancel out. On the right side, the 3x minus 1s cancel out. We then have to multiply out what's left in our numerator. So 3x times 3 is 9x. -1 times 3 is -3. Equals 5 times x is 5x. And then 5 times 1 is 5. We'll then collect like terms, so move 5x to the other side by subtracting it from both sides, and move the -3 over by adding 3 to both sides. So that gives us 4x is equal to 8. Divide both sides by 4. And we get x is equal to 2, but we also need to state our non-permissible. So if we look back at what our fractions we had, we have x cannot equal -1 as well as 1/3. Now practice for a section starts on page 581.